Welcome to the Commander Jason Fun Deck series. In each episode, I'll break down one of my personal Commander decks. I'll look at each card in the deck and talk about why I included it. This is a Spider Tribal deck, so the first thing is to pick a Commander. I used Gatherer from the Wizards website. I entered Legendary Spiders, Legal and Commander, and threw out the unsets. The first two results are both monocolored, and I really want this deck to be Golgari, which means black and green. My favorite color combo. The next three include two Golgari and Thantis, who includes a nice bonus of red. However, his ability of all creatures attacking each round doesn't work for me. That leaves Ishkana and Shelob, and even though I prefer a 3/5 body over an 8/8 because it feels more spider-like, Shelob wins with Death Touch, Ward, and Food Creation. Shelob has Death Touch and Ward 2, and when in play, she gives these abilities to all your spiders. Her last ability is kind of wordy and kind of confusing, but basically if a spider kills a creature, you get a token of that creature, except it's a food token, loses all other card types, but keeps their abilities. Let's examine the spiders in this deck. Acid Web Spider blows up an equipment when it enters. Arachna Spinner has a big body and allows you to find its web, which we'll look at later, and put it into your hand. Arasta produces spider tokens. Brood Weaver creates a token upon its death. Deadly Recluse costs 2 and has Death Touch, making it a daunting early blocker. Doomweaver can help with card draw. Drider can create spider tokens. And Giant Spider was one of my early favorite cards and probably the original inspiration for this deck. Grave Robber can be a late game beat stick. Ishkana's ability is Colon Power, meaning that it can be activated as many times as you have mana to do so. This can be an alternate win condition. Obelisk Spider gives -1/-1 counters, which can help with indestructible creatures. Penumbra Spider creates a black token copy of itself when it dies. I normally steer clear of Changelings, but Realm Walker really helps this deck, and it does have more toughness and power, kinda spider-like. Rot Widow Pack can slip in that last little bit of life loss you need to win. Shelob, the mono black version, says that whenever an opponent has a creature die, that creature is exiled instead. This is a great ability all by itself. But wait, there's more. For 3, you can put a creature exiled this way back into its owner's graveyard. If you do, Shelob gets bigger and you draw a card. Still better, for the creature's casting cost +2, you can put that creature into play under your control. Silk Slash Spider can wipe the skies clear of flyers at instant speed, making everyone scared to even play a flyer. Skyfisher can blow up a non-land permanent when it enters by sacking another creature. You always want to do this. Sky Snare Spider is a hefty 6/6 with Vigilance. Stinger Fling destroys a flyer when it enters, and Sweet Gum Recluse has Cascade, which is a fun ability. Whatever you hit with Cascade goes on the stack above Sweet Gum, so it will resolve first. If it happens to be a creature, Sweet Gum's inner ability will trigger. There are a number of token-producing cards, and if you can use them before Sweet Gum enters, this can enter as one big spider. Now for a few cards that are on theme for spiders. Arachnogenesis is an excellent surprise when someone decides to swing at you with everything. Assault Formation allows your spiders to do combat damage with their toughness instead of their power. Curse of Clinging Webs has that neat ability of exiling creatures that would otherwise die, and it gives you spider tokens. With this card, you want to enchant the person most likely to be using their graveyard as a resource. Ikra Shadiki can gain you a ton of life with attacking spiders, and Loth, well, she's the Spider Queen. Tokens are a sub-theme of this deck, but they were kind of thrust on me more than chosen. With that said, I decided to lean into food tokens. Whenever a land enters for you, Tireless Provisioner creates either a food or a treasure token. Early in the game, you should probably choose the treasure, later choose the food. Greta creates a food when she enters, then allows you to use your food tokens to add +1/+1 counters to creatures or to draw cards. Jaum gives you a food at the end of turn for each creature you've played that turn. He also allows food to make creatures indestructible. Nuka-Cola Vending Machine makes food tokens, and it says anytime you sack a food token, for any reason, such as to Jaum to make a creature indestructible, you get a treasure token. Parallel Lives doubles your token production, and Mirkwood Bat takes a life from each opponent every time you sack a token. For removal, we start with a favorite of mine, Return to Nature. For 2, you get to disenchant, or exile a card from a graveyard. Assassin's Trophy allows you to destroy any permanent of an opponent, and Putrefy destroys an artifact or creature. All 3 of these are instants. Arachnus Web is an aura that shuts down a creature, not allowing it to attack, block, or use activated abilities. Now it does fall off of big creatures, but it is searchable from your library or graveyard when you play Arachnus Spinner, which was discussed earlier. Death Sprout destroys a creature and grabs you a basic land. Rise of the Witch King forces everyone, including you, to sack a creature, then you get to reanimate a permanent. This means you can grab an artifact, enchantment, land, or planeswalker, not just a creature. Binding the Old Gods is a saga. The first ability destroys a non-land permanent. The second ramps a forest into play. The third gives your creatures Death Touch into the end of the turn, which can definitely be used to your advantage. Casualties of War is an awesome card, but to be fair, it does cost 6. It allows you to destroy the best artifact, creature, enchantment, land, and planeswalker on the board. Kindred Dominance destroys all creatures except spiders. With Find and Finality, you have to cast one side or the other. Find regrows 2 creatures, while Finality gives one of your creatures 2+1/+1 counters, then gives all creatures -4/-4 until end of the turn. Toxic Deluge costs 3 mana and X life to cast. It then gives all creatures -X/-X until end of the turn. Since your spiders have big butts, the plan with Toxic Deluge and Finality is that some spiders might live through them. In the draw category, we have Endless Atlas that taps to draw a card for 2, but can only be activated if you control at least 3 lands with the same name. It should be easy enough to get 3 forests into play. My favorite, Lifecrafter's Bestiary, allows you to pay an extra green when you cast a creature to draw. Beast Whisperer draws a card every time you cast a creature. The next 2 spells require you to sack an artifact or creature as an additional cost to cast them. You should have plenty of tokens available for sacrifice. Deadly Dispute draws 2 and creates a treasure. Reckoner's Bargain draws 2, and you will gain some life if you sack a non-token. Phyrexian Arena goes into every deck I build that runs black mana. It's an enchantment that says during your upkeep you lose 1 life and draw a card. Mana Ramp consists of Rampant Growth, which gets a basic land for 2 mana. Cultivate and Kadaman's Reach both grab 2 basics for 3 mana. Golgari's Signet and Talisman of Resilience help smooth color issues for 2 mana. Sol Ring produces 2 colorless for 1 mana. Expedition Map sacks to search for any land and puts it into your hand, so this isn't really ramp, but the flexibility of color fixing early and tutoring for a specialty land later makes this card worth it. Awakening Zone creates an Eldrazi Spawn token every upkeep. You can sack this token for a colorless mana. The token is a creature though and can block if needed. It also interacts with all of the token cards in this deck. Jaheira allows all of your tokens to tap for a green mana. So with Jaheira in play, your Eldrazi spawns and treasure tokens can tap for a mana instead of having to be sacked to get mana. And all of your spider and food tokens become Llanowar Elves. The rest of the spells I consider to be utility. Heroic Intervention can save your board. Nemesis Mass is a reusable lure. You can use it to make sure that you get a particular creature through, or when you're ready to Alpha Strike. Viridian Longbow takes advantage of the Death Touch in this deck, making this bow 1 shot, 1 kill. And if Shelob is out, it's also making food tokens. Eternal Witness is regrowth on a stick, and I love this art. In Search of Greatness can be really good, allowing you to cast permanents from your hand for free, and the worst case scenario is that you get to scry 1. I'm a huge fan of scheming symmetry in Commander. Not only do you get to tutor for anything for 1 mana, but you also allow another player to tutor. You can use this to make a friend, or in hopes that they have an answer for a problem that you do not. Mastermind's Acquisition probably seems like a weird choice. It's a diabolic tutor, allowing you to find any card in your deck and put it into your hand, but the second ability, that allows you to put a card from outside of the game into your hand, doesn't work in Commander. However, under the house rules in which my group plays, wish abilities are allowed to retrieve cards from your exiled zone. I'll make a video sometime soon explaining my house rules. I think you'll like them. Let's look at the stats. The deck is 62% green and 38% black. It has almost double the amount of green mana producers than black. Part of the reason, of course, is that the deck is more green than black, but also green is the color of your mana ramp spells. Looking at the categories, there are 35 lands, which is the number I normally shoot for, 20 spiders, it is a spider deck, 6 draw spells, 9 mana ramp, 8 removal, 3 mash removal, and a few other categories. Just remember, a lot of the spells that fall into one category could actually fall into other categories as well. And lastly, the casting cost curve. You can see that 3 is the sweet spot, with 2 and 4 being really close. Are you looking for a side hustle? And do you love dogs? If so, check out the Ultimate Dog Sitting Handbook. It's your all-in-one guide to providing top quality care. If you want to start or grow your dog sitting business, this step-by-step guide provides everything you need to deliver top quality care while building a profitable service. This comprehensive guide is ideal for beginners and for experienced pet sitters looking to improve their services and grow their business. Inside you'll find an introduction to dog sitting, preparation essentials, daily care routines, health management, safety and security, behavior and training, and entertainment. It's simple, clear, and practically everything you need to know to be a great dog sitter. To order this ebook, click on the link in the comments. Now back to the video. Here are the lands in the deck. I'll talk about a few of them. First off, there are 10 forests and 3 swamps. There are 8 lands that produce both green and black. Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, and Myriad Landscape can be sacked to get basic lands. These help to thin the deck and to get the color you need at the time. Swarmyard and Yavimaya Hollow can regenerate your spiders. You can sack Tectonic Edge to destroy a non-basic land. This deck will have a large devotion to green at times, so Nykthos is here to take advantage of those times. I hope you enjoyed this video. This deck is an example of building around a tribe rather than a commander. Once I did pick the commander though, I made card choices based on him. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Also, if I missed any of your favorite spiders, I'd love to hear about them. Let me know in the comments. If you feel like you learned anything from this video, or if you just enjoyed it, please help me out by hitting the like button and subscribing. Thank you.